Have you ever felt like no matter how much you give, it's never enough? That the more you try to please her, the less she seems to respect you? What if I told you that it's not love that keeps relationships alive, but boundaries? And not just any boundaries, but the kind Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic emperors, would have enforced without blinking. Before we dive in, take a second to subscribe to Stoic Sage and hit that like button, because what you're about to hear can shift your entire love life. Watch this video till the end. One insight could change how women see you forever. There was once a man named Lucius, a kind soul. The kind who remembered birthdays, showed up with flowers, listened attentively, and never said no. He thought that if he gave enough of himself, his girlfriend would love him more. But slowly she started pulling away, not because she was cruel, but because somehow she stopped respecting him. Lucius couldn't understand it. He kept asking himself, where did I go wrong? The answer wasn't in what he did, but what he didn't do. He didn't set boundaries. He didn't know what Marcus Aurelius taught thousands of years ago, that if you don't respect yourself first, no one else will. Let's explore 5 powerful boundaries that will make women respect you more, guided by the timeless Stoic wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. 1. The boundary of self-control. Have you ever been in love so deeply that even the smallest thing she did could shake your entire mood? Maybe it was the way she didn't reply to your message for hours, or how she laughed a little too long at some guy's joke. Or maybe, just maybe, it was that cold goodnight text that didn't come with a heart, like it usually did. Be honest. Did it mess with your head? Did it keep you up, refreshing the chat, wondering what you did wrong? If you're nodding your head right now, then this story might just be yours. Let's talk about Lucius again, the guy we met earlier. Lucius wasn't a weak man. He had a good job, he was generous, and he loved deeply. But when he fell in love with Anna, he gave her power over his peace. He didn't even notice it at first. It started with those little anxious thoughts. Why isn't she replying? Did I say something wrong? Is she losing interest? And as time passed, those thoughts turned into reactions, calling too much, apologizing for things he didn't even do, changing his opinions to match hers, losing sleep, losing confidence, losing himself. Now here's the truth, my friend, and listen closely. A woman can love your heart, but she'll only respect your boundaries. And nothing is more attractive than a man who controls his emotions, not one who's controlled by them. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That quote, it's a roadmap to respect and love. Imagine this, Anna doesn't reply for hours. Lucius smiles, puts his phone down and focuses on his goals. She gets distant for a day. He doesn't chase, he reflects. He observes. He breathes. He doesn't jump to fix things unless there's truly something to fix. He becomes unshakable. And guess what? She noticed. Her messages got warmer. Her eyes lingered longer. Because now she wasn't talking to a boy who needed her approval. She was in the presence of a man who owned himself. Let me bring it back to you. Think about your last relationship, or maybe the one you're in now. Have you ever felt like you were bending emotionally to keep her close? Have you ever said sorry just to stop the silence even when you weren't wrong? That's not love. That's fear. And fear never earns respect. So here's your challenge. Start catching your emotional reactions. Pause before you text back in panic. Breathe when you feel the heat rise. Respond like a king, not a servant. Remember, love without self-control is a trap. But love with emotional mastery, that's where real respect begins. So ask yourself right now, are you leading your emotions or are they leading you? Because the answer to that will determine how she looks at you tomorrow. And we're just getting started. Purpose over pleasure. Have you ever been in love so deeply that you started forgetting yourself? You stopped going to the gym, delayed that passion project, missed your goals just to spend more time with her? Be honest. Maybe you thought, if I just give her more attention, she'll love me more. Maybe you thought sacrificing your dreams was a sign of deep love. But what if I told you that every time you made her the center of your universe, she started losing interest? Let's go back to Lucius. You remember him, the guy who gave his heart away without a second thought. When Lucius met Anna, everything changed. At first it was beautiful. He'd skip gym sessions to take late-night calls. He started showing up late to work, texting her under the table. He even postponed launching his business because he didn't want to be too busy for her. In his eyes, he was being the perfect boyfriend. But in Anna's eyes, Something shifted. She still liked him, but she no longer admired him. Because the man she was drawn to, the focused, driven, purposeful man, was disappearing. Here's what Marcus Aurelius would have told Lucius. Stop whatever you're doing for a moment and ask yourself, is this essential? It hits hard, doesn't it? Because when a man forgets what's essential, his purpose, his path, his calling, he starts orbiting around her. But women don't fall for satellites. They fall for suns, men who shine with purpose, who light up everything around them, but never chase. Think about your own story. Have you ever looked back at a time in your life when you were most attractive to others? Chances are it wasn't when you were chasing love. It was when you were chasing something bigger. Your fitness, your dream, your growth, your mission. That's no coincidence. Anna fell for Lucius when he was working late on his ideas, waking up early to run, passionate about something beyond her. She respected the fire in him. But when he gave it all up for her, she didn't feel closer. She felt burdened. Because no woman wants to be a man's everything. She wants to witness him being everything he was born to be. That's what makes her proud to stand by him. So ask yourself right now, what's the one thing you used to love doing but abandoned for love? What dream did you put on pause? What goal are you hiding behind I'm too busy? It's time to get it back. Lucius did. He picked up his notebook. He got back in the gym. He started building the business he once dreamed about. And Anna? She didn't leave. She leaned in, closer than ever before. Because purpose is magnetic, so never choose pleasure over your purpose. Because when you stay on your path, the right ones will walk with you. 3. The boundary of silence. Have you ever found yourself saying too much in love, explaining, defending, begging, when silence would have said everything louder? Maybe she gave you the cold shoulder. Maybe she was acting distant. And instead of standing tall, you started chasing answers. Are you okay? Did I do something wrong? Please just tell me what's going on. Sound familiar? Now I want you to pause for a second. Think back to your last relationship. Think about that one fight or maybe that confusing moment when everything felt off. Now ask yourself, what if you had just stayed quiet? Let's go back to Lucius for a moment. Lucius had a fire inside him, a good heart, but he feared losing love more than he feared losing himself. So whenever Anna pulled away, his instincts kicked in, talk more, fix more, try harder. He thought his words would bring her closer. But what they really did was push her further away, because in trying to explain everything, Lucius exposed his anxiety, and anxiety doesn't feel like strength. It feels like weakness, and weakness over time loses respect. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." Silence, my friend, is not the absence of action. It is the presence of control. When Lucius learned this, everything changed. There was a day Anna didn't text all morning. He noticed it, felt the storm rise in his chest, but instead of reacting, he took a walk. He let the silence speak. No check-in messages, no guilt tripping, no overthinking. Just stillness. When Anna finally reached out, she noticed something had changed. Lucius wasn't shaken. He wasn't waiting. He wasn't needing her words to feel okay. And in that silence, she heard his strength. Because here's a truth no one teaches us growing up. When you stop chasing clarity from her, she starts seeking clarity in you. It's in your pause that she finds your presence. It's in your quiet that she questions her distance. And it's in your restraint that she remembers why she respected you in the first place. Think about your own life now. Have you ever said something in the heat of emotion you later regretted? Have you ever explained yourself to the point it felt like begging? Then you know what I'm talking about. So here's your invitation today. Practice sacred silence. The next time she pulls back, don't fill the space with fear. Let the silence echo with your self-worth. Hold your ground. Stay calm. Observe. Because silence doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough about yourself to not hand your peace over like a gift to someone unsure of its value. Lucius didn't just get Anna's attention back. He got her respect because he spoke volumes without saying a single word. And that, my friend, is a boundary worth mastering. First, don't reveal everything too soon. Let me ask you something quietly. Have you ever shared too much too soon with someone you just started falling for? You told her your whole life story, your childhood scars, your dreams, your fears, your past heartbreaks, because deep down you thought that being open meant being worthy of love. But what happened after? She listened. She cared. But slowly the spark dimmed. She didn't lean in the same way anymore. The mystery was gone. Let's walk back into Lucius's story. A man with a deep heart and an honest soul. When he met Anna, he felt that rare electric connection. You know the one. The kind that makes you want to tell someone everything. And he did. Within days, he poured his life into her hands. He talked about the father who never believed in him. The girl who broke him 5 years ago. The dreams he was scared to chase. And he thought, she'll feel closer to me now. But here's the twist, she didn't feel closer. She felt the weight. It wasn't his vulnerability that turned her off, it was the timing of it. He gave her the depth of chapter 10, when she was still browsing the cover. And this is where Marcus Aurelius drops a lesson that hits deep. Don't show your whole soul to every passerby. Your inner life deserves its own privacy. Lucius didn't know this yet. But women don't fall in love with exposure, they fall in love with exploration. They want to unfold you, not receive you like a letter already written. Let's talk about you for a second. Think about the last time you were falling for someone. Did you give away your depth too quickly? Did you hand over your emotional treasure before she had even earned the map? It's okay if you did. We've all been Lucius once, but understand this, mystery is not manipulation, it's magnetism. The truth is, you are a book worth reading. But a book that gives away the ending on page 1, no one reads it twice. Lucius learned this the hard way. After Anna started pulling away, he didn't beg this time. He reflected. He reread Marcus. He sat with his emotions. And when another woman entered, his life months later, he didn't rush. To be understood, he let her be curious. He revealed layer by layer, letting her earn his truth, and she did. Every conversation felt like discovering a new country. Every silence held promise, and she respected the man who didn't need to be immediately known, because he knew his worth. So I ask you now, what are you holding so tightly to be heard, that you're giving it away too fast? Start holding back just enough to stay interesting. Let her wonder. Let her lean in. Let her work to know you, because you are not a puzzle to be dumped on the floor. You are a masterpiece to be revealed, brushstroke by brushstroke. Stay tuned, because the final boundary will teach you how to stand tall when the storm hits, and why walking away is sometimes the greatest act of self-respect. Know when to walk away. Have you ever held on to someone long after they stopped holding on to you? Maybe you knew it in your gut. The messages slowed down. The warmth faded, but you kept showing up, kept hoping, kept staying. Why? Because walking away felt like failure. Because you were scared to be alone. Because part of you believed, if I just love her a little more, maybe she'll come back. Now think of that moment. That night you lay in bed staring at your phone, waiting for a reply that never came. That sick, quiet feeling in your stomach. That voice whispering, you deserve better. But you stayed anyway. Let me take you back to Lucius, our brother in this journey. Lucius had gone through it all. He'd learned to set boundaries, to live with purpose, to embrace silence, to hold back his deepest layers. But Anna, she changed. She stopped appreciating his presence. She criticized more than she cared. Her love became a battlefield, and Lucius kept fighting, even when no one was fighting for him. Why? Because his heart was loyal. But here's the Stoic truth. Loyalty to someone else should never cost you loyalty to yourself. Marcus Aurelius said it simply, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Lucius's thoughts? They were dark now, anxious, confused, drenched in trying to fix someone who didn't want to be fixed, or didn't want him anymore. So one evening, something shifted. He stood in front of the mirror, not to check his hair or his clothes, but to check something deeper, his dignity. And for the first time in weeks, he whispered aloud, I'm done chasing what doesn't see me. It didn't feel like giving up. It felt like coming home. He walked away, not with anger, not with revenge, but with grace, with silence, with power. And Anna? She reached out weeks later, but it was too late. Lucius wasn't trying to be missed. He was too busy finding himself again. Now let's talk about you, because maybe you've been Lucius too. Maybe you're in something that hurts more than it heals. Maybe you've forgotten the sound of your own joy because you've been too busy listening for hers. Maybe deep down you know it's time. Time to stop begging for crumbs. Time to stop shrinking to fit into her life. Time to stop confusing comfort with connection. So here's your boundary. Have the strength to walk away from what no longer serves your soul. Not every love is meant to last, But every decision you make in love should honor who you're becoming. You're not walking away from her, you're walking toward yourself. Lucius found peace the day he chose self-respect over fear. And you can too. Because the man who can walk away calmly, lovingly, and without looking back is the man every woman remembers. Final words. The quiet power of boundaries. These 5 boundaries aren't about control, they're about clarity. They're not about building walls, but protecting the garden within. Marcus Aurelius wasn't teaching us to be cold or distant. He was teaching us to be unshakable, to be the kind of man whose presence commands respect, not through force, but through inner order. Lucius was once lost in the fog of people-pleasing. Today he's grounded, respected, desired, not because he changed her, but because he changed himself. And you can do the same. So set the boundary, stand your ground, and never forget, you teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.